The Ford Fiesta, it is just like watching live broadcast TV. It used to be the most fashionable, most popular thing to do, but it's been replaced, not by Netflix or another streaming service, but by cars such as the Audi A1, Mini Hatchback and Vauxhall Corsa, which have all overtaken it in the sales charts. So join me today for a walk around review of the humble Ford Fiesta, in which we'll find out why it is no longer as popular as it used to be, and whether that has anything to do with Stranger Things or The Witcher. It's not. I think it's to do with chip shortages. But anyway, let's get going. The Fiesta was facelifted in 2021. The Ford badge slid down onto the nose, as with the Ford Focus, and the lights were slimmed down, and it got a slightly updated interior. However, we're using a pre-facelift car because it's almost impossible to buy the new facelifted one because of wars, shortages, etc., etc. This one, you can drive away today. You don't have to wait for the world to fix itself, which might be a while. Part of the reason the Fiesta is more popular than cheese on a pizza is because it's so damn easy to drive, and part of that is being able to see out. I've got little windows up here so I can see cyclists at junctions. I can see out the back pretty easily, so as a first car, this ticks all the boxes. Now, quality in here is pretty good as well, frankly. I've got nice squidgy steering wheel. I've got quite a decent touchscreen infotainment system, which has Apple CarPlay and Android Auto. You do have to plug in to use them, but whatever, it works. I've got a wireless charging mat, 12-volt socket, a USB, a place to hold my credit card, cup holders, decent-sized door bins. What's not to like? I mean, an Audi A1 does feel a bit posher inside, but so what? It's a lot more expensive. This does the job. Things in the back seats are actually more roomy than you might think. They're not cavernous, but considering this is a small car, I've got room for my knees and room for my head, and I'm 6'3", and I know not many people are going to be using the back seats in their Fiestas, but it's nice to know you can. If you're really not going to use them, you can get a 3-door version of this car, which obviously makes backseat access trickier, but it looks a fair bit sportier. One of the reasons you'll see more Fiestas on UK roads and flattened badges is its size. It's only 4 meters long. And despite the fact each generation of Fiesta gets a bit bigger, it's still not a big car, which means it's perfect for learner drivers, for nervous parkers, or just anyone that doesn't feel the need to drive around in a super tanker. There is an active version of the Fiesta, so cool because the suspension gets jacked up by 18mm and they get some black plastic round the wheel arches here to make it look a bit more roughy-tufty, but it doesn't really turn it into an SUV. If you want an SUV the same size as this, get the Ford Puma, which is also a brilliant car. Whichever version of the Fiesta you choose, you get alloy wheels. This is top spec ST line one, so you get these sporty little numbers, and you get some bumpers that kind of mimic the actually sporty ST, but without the insurance and fuel costs. I like that you get Ford's capless fuel filling system, so you just jam your nozzle in the hole and it's happy days. You don't have to faff about unscrewing anything, putting thing on the top that you're going to leave behind. And because it's a small car, you might be thinking boot space is going to be tiny, but it isn't. It's actually surprisingly roomy, and we're going to show you this during a very small version of the Motorpoint Big Boot Challenge. But we're not doing the sound effects or the fancy intro because I forgot to bring half my bags. So, the Motorpoint small boot faff around. Doesn't sound quite as catchy, does it? Now, for context, the Ford Fiesta's 311-litre boot is a gnat's thigh smaller than the one in the Vauxhall Corsa and about 20 litres smaller than the one in an Audi A1, but it's still a useful space. That big camera bag fits in there, my carry-on fits in, loads of room to spare, and I think as long as you're not taking a family of 4 on holiday with your hair straighteners and everything else, you'll be absolutely fine. Now, we found out that the Ford Fiesta is reasonably practical for a small car. It's got quite good rear seats and it's got quite a lot of tech on it. But how does it drive and how efficient is it? Let's hit the open road and find out. Right, let's go for a drive in the Ford Fiesta. And if you're buying one of these as your first car after passing a test, all you need to know is it's dead easy to drive. Foot on the clutch, hit the starter button, and it comes to life. You can adjust the steering wheel up and down, in and out quite a bit. So even if you're lanky like me, you can get comfy. And it's a case of taking off the manual handbrake and away you go with excellent visibility. Now, in terms of engine choices, you're looking at 1-litre petrols mostly. Ford calls it the EcoBoost because it's turbocharged. And you can get it with either 95 horsepower or 125 like this one. I would get the 95 if you're mostly driving around town, but if you're going to do lots of motorways or carry lots of people, get the 125 horsepower version. There are no diesels and there's no electric version either. Some of the petrols are called mild hybrids, but really It's not much of a hybrid, it's just a little starter generator to help you lower your emissions and stop-start traffic, basically. Oh, and there's a 1.1 litre non-turbo petrol engine, which you should avoid like chicken pox. It's not very good. Just get the 1 litre EcoBoost. But anyway, let's get to some motorways and find out how this little car feels on big roads. Right, we're going to get up to motorway speeds from about 30 miles an hour. It accelerates pretty quickly, this 125 horsepower engine. There's loads of turbocharged torque. It even makes quite a nice noise because it's only got 3 cylinders. And that is pretty much 70 miles an hour. And now I'm up to 70, I can stick it in 6th. The revs dropped to about 2,000 RPM. And it's reasonably quiet. There's a little bit of wind noise, but not too much. And you can certainly have a conversation without having to shout at your passenger. In terms of driver assistance tech, I've got lane keeping assist, which I can turn off and on very easily using a button on the end of the indicator. I've got cruise control. It's kind of got everything you would expect for a big car, let alone a small, affordable one. In terms of MPG, this 1 litre petrol engine is going to get you about 50 MPG if you take it easy. You could possibly get 60 if you've got a really careful right foot, and it'll drop to about 40 when you get to fun, twisty roads, which is where the Fiesta shines, and that's where we're going to take it next. Right, I'm heading out onto a country road in the Ford Fiesta now, where you get to enjoy some more of that 3-cylinder engine's performance, but really it's kind of like the steering and the gear shift that make this a satisfying car to drive quickly. It's got loads of grip and it just feels fun when you turn it into a corner. I'm only doing 50 miles an hour, so I'm not absolutely rinsing it. Around here, it just feels composed, it's not scary. It's just a really nice car to drive that's got a bit of a twinkle in its eye, frankly. Stuff sliding around in the back, sorry, it's probably my cameraman. But yeah, the suspension is a little bit firmer in this ST line version. It's firmer than in the regular versions of the Fiesta. Over those bumps, you really do notice it. It's not too crashy though, and it's still vaguely soft. But get a titanium version if you really want to maximize your ride comfort. But otherwise, this is a hoot to drive on country roads. And the ST version, the full fat ST of 200 horsepower, is downright hilarious. It can turn anyone into a hooligan while still getting 40 mpg. But anyway, Fiesta, very good fun to drive, highly recommended, whatever you're going to use it for, unless that's carrying a family of 5. Back to me at Motorpoint for an outro. The Fiesta might have dropped off bestseller lists as a new car, but that's purely because it's been a victim of global supply chain problems. It's still a brilliant, small car, and I defy anyone with a pulse to drive one of these down a country road or even to the shops to get milk and not have a massive smile on your face. And yes, sure, there are rivals with bigger boots and slightly posher interiors, slightly more technology, but as an all-round, affordable value package, the Fiesta is still unbeatable. Thanks ever so much for watching. Please like and subscribe to the Motorpoint YouTube channel. We've got plenty more nearly new car reviews coming very soon. And head over to motorpoint.co.uk to see our full range of nearly new cars. They're all under 4 years old. They've all got less than 30,000 miles on the clock. And they're all available to drive away today. Thanks for watching. See you next time.